on the services and supply 200. We are in practice right now. We are going to get to the show in just a moment's notice, and we are focusing early on the driver, the 21 machine in Kendall Kerr. The reason being, he's 13 points out of the championship lead over Scott Wheeler Jr. Scott Wheeler leading the way in the championship by just 13 points after 8 rounds of action. Now we are in our 8th round of action. And it's about time to see whether or not these guys go back at it, fighting for the championship lead. And we have a great field on hand here tonight. 26 cars have joined the session, and 26 cars have set a lap. And we are getting ready to get going here at North Wilkesboro. 200 miles of action here in Wilkes County. A track that is set to come back to the NASCAR Cup Series in just about a half year's time. We're taking them here earlier, though. Let's find out how they work with the Next-Gens. It's the first time we've seen the Next-Gens here with North Wilkesboro. And the points battle, it is absolutely getting as close as ever. The Owners' Championship getting close as well. A separation between Four Horsemen Racing and Blacktop Racing by 6 points overall. Nothing else separating those guys. Before we get to the action, always important to know what's going on when it comes to the teams. Blacktop Racing represented by Kendall Kerr. Kendall Kerr on a monster points run, but Alan Goodman always a favorite here on the shorter tracks. He is 6th on the charts now, tied for 5th position. As a matter of fact, those guys, Jason Harris and Alan Goodman, are separated by absolutely nothing. Not a thousandth of a second separating them. And it's time to see how they'll do as the race gets underway in 4 minutes and 30 seconds time from this point onward. Scott Wheeler going to spin in the back of the screen. Supply and service and supply. As a matter of fact, sponsors of this event, waiting to get back at it once again. Terry Brooks, their driver, the number 23 machine, 2nd on the charts. The hometown sponsor looking good tonight. Terry Brooks coming off a series of strong runs, unfortunately not able to capitalize the week after week at the finish. But showing what he's made of time after time, the 23 machine does. And Terry Brooks is a 1/10 of a second off of Ty Smith right now in practice. Nobody faster than Ty Smith. By a long shot, we might just see an outside winner here tonight. It's Brad Kress in 3rd, Kendall Kerr in 4th, but Terry Brooks and Ty Smith looking to put themselves in the mix. They're now on their way. And they are far and away ahead of the remainder of the field by a really long shot here, as Kunman is going to get into the back of both drivers there, including Colton Gardner and Terry Brooks. The race is not underway just yet. We have now 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining before we get to qualifying, and then from there we will get to the racing action. And let's see what these guys have in store for us. 200 miles of action, and I believe that action will make this the 2nd longest race on the season. Coming over will be just after the shortest, where Chad Winstead got his victory at Mid-Ohio. Brad Kress looking at his first victory on the season, but very, very close. He's a 1,000th of a second behind Terry Brooks on the charts now. And whether or not he's going to be able to make that time up, we're going to find out. Because he's looking good so far, just about a 1/10 of a second off of our race leader, Kendall Kerr, in position number 4. And Kendall Kerr going to watch Scott Wheeler right sit there side by side with Chad Winstead, and Winstead going to send Kendall Kerr up the track. Alan Kerman in position number 6 now. Looking good as it stands, just outside of the top 5. And coming to the stripe once more, he has set 77 laps. And 77 laps is the highest, with the exception of one driver in Chad Winstead. Chad Winstead now up to 78 laps of practice, and Kunman coming around to his 78th, but it looks like, as a matter of fact, there's only one driver ahead of both of them, and that is Kendall Kerr. Kendall Kerr has 88 laps of practice in his entirety, and he is 5/1,000th of a second away from Brad Kress, and 6/1,000th of a second away from Terry Brooks. Very close to the 2nd on the charts here, but it's going to take a Herculean effort to get up the first, as Ty Smith has the point by a mile, unless Connor Holden chooses to do something about it. And the 81 machine appears to have ran the high line there, using the Ross Chastain method. That car is destroyed, but Connor Holden is considered your top chart setter in practice, falling right in the high line all the way. That car is destroyed, but he is first in practice, and it looks like it's going to take a lot to usurp him. Terry Brooks Down on pit road, Brad Kress on his way in this little pack with Jeff Morash in the 76 machine. Just beside him. 76 of Jacob Hahn back again now with the NyQuil. Sponsorship, Vicks NyQuil. For the first time, we're seeing that color scheme. On the driver of the 76, Jeff Morash coming with the Adidas paint scheme once again. And Brad Kress with the exalted number 29, Chevy Camaro. 53 seconds ago, Connor Holden, top of the charts in practice. And looking for just a bit more here tonight. We'll see whether or not he has the base to hold on. He is position number 1 in practice, but certainly we'll find out whether or not he has the pace to be one of the fastest. This last lap there was an 18.754. That would put him around 20th on the charts. And it's not too far from first. It's only a 2-second, or rather a 2/10 of a second deficit. Still pretty far out. We'll see whether or not he has what it takes to hold on as the race goes on. But as it stands, Kendall Kerr down to 5th. He is 0.06 of a second away from getting up to the top 3. Will he be able to do it? This seems to be his last chance coming down the inside line once more, running about the second groove. That time by, not going to happen. Kendall Kerr staying in 5th, and Connor Holden is scored as your qualifying winner, fastest man in the practice session. On to qualifying. Let's see who can capture that coveted pole position here in Wilkes County. And we're going to find out in due time. Everyone loading up onto the screen as it stands. Nobody out on the racetrack. The first driver to get out, it's going to be Scott Wheeler. Let's watch the driver of the 97 machine as he gets back on it. Scott Wheeler on his way. Let's see what he's got in store. And Wheeler needs a great night here tonight. We do have a field including 26 cars, which means that theoretically, if Scott Wheeler does have a terrible night and Kendall Kerr is able to pull off a 13 position deficit, or rather, a deficit for Scott Wheeler to be 13 positions behind the driver Kendall Kerr, he could lose the championship lead. While Scott Wheeler's been an ace all year long, he's going to have to step it up in his final third of the season. He's going to be top of the charts until Adam Bozzi is going to get up by just about half a second, and Connor Holden's going to be top of the charts. That time by 1,000th of a second in front of Adam Bozzi. He looks down the pace that we haven't seen all night long. Let's see what he can do. Adam Bozzi in second for now. Tyler Rush is in 5th. And he comes off the stripe and he spins it. Adam Bozzi is now on provisional pole. Connor Holden is in 2nd. Ty Smith 3rd. Austin Bloom 4th. And Terry Brooks in position number 5. Brandon White in 6th. Scott Wheeler 7th. Zellner in 8th. Scott Zellner to be exact. As Chad Winstead sets it up to 3rd position. Adam Bozzi is still top of the charts with Brandon Wenchard coming around that time by. That's going to put him in position number 8. Caleb Morrissey 13th. He's going to get out of that one. Clint Spillman in position number 10. Everyone's soaring through. Bozzi looks to be top of the charts with 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. That could be pole position locked up. We'll find out whether or not that is the case. Still a lot of time to decide who's going to be all the way up front. As Colton Gardner goes by that time by, the number 40 machine does. He is 8th on the charts. Connor Holden, 81 machine, down to 3rd. Brad Kress in 2nd. Bozzi still going by. He is in position number 1. Roberto Ramirez is going to set it into 18th position. String of good runs before, including Sonoma, his victory, and his near victory in Mid-Ohio before things fell apart at the tail end of it. Not able to capture the victory. The gap between the first and second position drivers is 62 1,000ths of a second. And Ramirez, best he'll be able to get out of it is going to be that 19th position. Jason Harris in 13th. Kenny Brooks in the number 8 position. As Brooks is in the 54 machine tonight. Colton Gardner in 9th. Now on the charts as Alan Koodman sets it up to 2nd position on the charts there that time by. He's still got one more lap to count it. Will he be able to set a better lap than what he set beforehand? We're going to find out coming all the way around. This could decide pole position coming across the stripe. And Alan Koodman will not take pole position. It's a deficit of 11,000ths of a second. It will, without any surprise, go to Adam Bozzi. We're going to look for a surprise run if we can find one. And Garrett Sidnor might just be our man. Going up to the high line, that time by going to get really, really high there. And that's not going to work out for the driver of the 50 machine. He's going to back it down. And now, Garrett Sidnor going to go once again. This should be his one and only lap that counts. We'll find out whether or not that's the case. Going for the best he can do with one lap. We'll find out if it's going to be possible to get a good run with just one lap's worth of momentum. Looks to be the final driver to qualify here. Dylan Body is not qualified. Andrew Baker is not qualified. And Jacob Hom has not hit the track for qualifying as well. All up to the number 50 machine to make a surprise, make a wave in what should be the final qualifying run of the session. Coming down the stripe, this is going to be the last lap that's timed, and Garrett Sidnor is going to shoot it all the way up into 13. Chad Winstead still on the racetrack. Adam Bozzi is as well. Brad Kress there. And Adam Bozzi still going around trying to get some laps. And how about that? Looks like Adam Bozzi will be able to take pole position here before we get started here in the Services and Supply Incorporated 200-mile showdown from Wilkes County. It's North Wilkesboro Speedway, a throwback track for many. We're doing it now, and we're doing it in the middle of a title fight. In the middle of two title fights, the owners and the drivers. It's now or never for a lot of these guys. Let's find out what they've got in store. And that is it. Adam Bozzi will sit on pole here tonight in Wilkes County, and he's going to lead the field to green in the Service and Supply Incorporated 2. Into the show, it's going to be a great night of action. All the drivers loading up as we speak. And the blimp floating over Wilkes County and North Wilkesboro Speedway as the virtual fans are on their feet. Adam Bozzi going to be able to lead them through, this time by, and Alan Koodman to his side has not loaded up just yet. We're going to wait and see whether or not he loads up, as Adam Bozzi himself has not loaded up as well. A little bit of a shock, but we still have some time before we get those guys on the racetrack. Surely, there's a reason they're not on it right now. And Goodyear and the NASCAR and the First Union flags all wave next to one another. And this track in its entirety is a throwback to the way it was in the 80s and the 90s when it last was used for NASCAR Cup Series competition until this year and next year, where it came back to life in competition. Will be used in the NASCAR Cup Series in a short time. Half a year until the All-Star race in Wilkes County, and it's going to be one that these guys are not going to want to forget. But now, we're taking the next gen to the track just a bit early. Let's get underway with your starting grid here tonight. Adam Bozzi, pole position with Alan Koodman, rounding out the front row with an 18.621 in the second spot. Then it's going to be Brad Kress in third, Connor Holden in fourth, and rounding out the top five, it's Chad Winstead with Ty Smith in position number 6. Austin Bloom in 7th and Terry Brooks in 8th, with now Kenny Brooks in 9th and Colton Gardner in position number 10, rounding out that top 10. Scott Zellner in 11th and Kendall Kerr in position number 12. Garrett Sidnor in 13th, Clint Simone in 14th, Jason Harris in 15th, and Brandon Wenchard is in 16th. Scott Wheeler down in 17th tonight in qualifying. Lowest he's qualified all season with James McKee in 18th. Tyler Rush in 19th with Jeff Morash in position number 20. Caleb Orsi in 21st, Roberto Ramirez 22nd, Dylan Petit, last driver on time, as a 19.976 in 23rd. And Matthew Rodriguez, Andrew Baker, and the shotgun rider for tonight's event, Jacob Hom, rounds out the field. 26th with Dylan Body. 27th, taking the honors, being the final driver of this field. And it is time to get into the action here in Wilkes County. And the fans are ready, and I'm sure that every single one of you are ready as well. We are going to get into this in style. In North Wilkesboro, it's the place to be tonight. And the best night for any racing on iRacing is a Thursday night spent with the Highliner Racing League, the HighPoint Premier Series, looking to do it well once again. 200 laps to decide this race. Bozzi looking about as competitive as he has all season long, if not just a bit more. This could be his shining night, looking for his first victory on the year. It'll be a game changer if he's able to do just that, as we have a field of 27 drivers looking to get that victory the track. About as old as NASCAR itself and about as relevant to NASCAR's history as the sanctioning body has been all of its time. iRacing pace car is in, and we are green from North Wilkesboro. Let's go racing. It's the Services Supply Incorporated 200, led by Adam Ozzie. And here we go. Brad Creston, they're double file in the middle of the pack. Three wide, as a matter of fact. A little bit further down there, there's Scott Zellner, who took it 3 for just a moment. Kendall Kerr did as well, and they're already getting risky in the back of the pack. It looks like the majority of these guys have gotten through. Looks like all of those guys have gotten through. The race is underway. Second, Bozzi takes the lead, yellow flags out. Dylan Petit, not involved. Brandon Wenjard might have been. Trying to find out who was involved in specific. As our first yellow is already out. And let's try to see what happened to cause that wreck. As a multitude of guys are already being reset in regards to their position on track. Watching the drone. And everyone rolled cleanly. As a matter of fact, we do not see what happened. Trying to find out what happened. Not bringing us many answers. We do not see an incident on the racetrack there. The majority of these guys do appear to have minimal, if any, damage. Nonetheless, looks like we've had our first incident on the night, and we're going to keep looking. Because it looks like a majority of these guys do not have damage, if any. How about that? Adam Bozzi still leading. And 2 laps, now 4 laps in. It's led by the Bozzi machine. The majority of these guys are still on their way. It does not look like many of them have any damage. Look back. Every driver back here appears to be clean. Roberto Ramirez riding shotgun is as well. And every driver, with the exception of 2, have not come down on pit road. Roberto Ramirez being one of them. We're going to try to find out why Roberto Ramirez came down, because it might have been related to an incident. Although we don't see it on this blimp cam. It looks like as a result, we have not gotten a clue of what occurred to Roberto Ramirez in 27th position. That is where we assume the incident has occurred. Ramirez not looking to have much damage, if any. Every driver still looking clean 5 laps into this 200 lap event. Double file to choose rule is in effect. Bozzi leads. Alan Koopman in second. Brad Kress in position number 3. It looks like the first incident of the night involved Jason Harris and Roberto Ramirez. There is no replay available. That is an iRacing issue. Unfortunately, server sided. And it's not helping us out at all. Let's get back into it. 27, leading 8. Silver bullet for Alan Koopman. For the first time tonight, let's get our first restart underway. We are green once more from North Wilkesboro. Let's get back at it. Bozzi, then Koopman, then Brad Kress, then Connor Holden, and Chad Winston, position number 5. Double file. As it stands, we're doing well thus far. This time I looks like we would make multiple laps. Everyone has gotten through cleanly and greenly. And now, Bozzi making a great run of it. Alan Koopman, then Brad Kress, Connor Holden. How about that? Connor Holden right behind him. Chad Winston in 5th, Terry Brooks in 6th, and Ty Smith in 7th. With Kenny Brooks in position number 8, and Ty Smith in 9th. Fighting side by side, the 18 and the 54R. And Kendall Kerrigan trying to make moves on the inside line, and Kendall Kerrigan sent bobbling into the glass. Ty Smith in the wall. Everyone looks to save it. Kendall Kerr gets wiggled up, and now it's going to be Scott Wheeler getting through on his championship rival. And that was certainly an oversight as Austin Bloom getting into the wall there. He's going to save it just a bit. Damage. He's still on his way. 10 laps in this 200 lap event. And everyone in the middle of the pack here is shoveling it up. Garrett Sindor going to end right up in the wall. That is going to be the second caution of the night. Garrett Sindor sending it into the wall there. And that brings out yellow number 2. 11 laps into this one. Let's get the instant replay on the matter. 50 machine. Tips right into it. And nothing else from there. Number 50, Garrett Sidnor. Down and around. And that brings out your second yellow. Adam Bozzi still is your race leader. 12 laps into this 200-lap race. And a dominant affair there from Adam Bozzi so far, with Alan Koopman in second and Brad Kress in third. Connor Holden in now the fourth position, and Chad Winstead is in fifth. It's an ABC ordeal. As you can see, the top two drivers, first names start with A. Third position driver starts with B, and fourth and fifth start with C. A great job by every single one of them. Nonetheless, the pure coincidence up there in the top five. As a result, Bozzi still holds position number one. Alan Koopman in second. They all still roll slowly, 13 laps into this 200-lap race. Adam Bozzi certainly looking for a long green flag run. He seems to have the speed and the advantage over time. So the 14-lap stint, nobody appears faster. His best lap is an 18.807. Although as a matter of fact, Alan Koopman might just be faster. His best lap is a tenth quicker than that lap at 18.710. Now, only a matter of time before we get back into the action. Andy Brooks, position number 7. Terry Brooks, position number 6. Chad Winstead rounds out the top 5 in the Superflow number 10 machine, coming off of his first victory of the season. And looking to get yet another strong run to keep himself in the title mix. Scott Wheeler goes down to the inside line as well. Kevin Kerr going to elect the same line, just a spot behind. Different row. 15 laps complete at a 200 in its entirety. Service and Supply Incorporated 200 simulcast on Stadium Scene TV. We hope you enjoy the presentation wherever you are watching, whether it is Stadium Scene TV or the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel. We'd love to support. We hope you enjoy the presentations. It's always great to have every single one of you watching night after night. Let's get back into it. iRacing pace car is off. We are green again from North Wilkesboro. Double final affair led by Bozzi. And Koopman in second, Brad Kress third, Connor Holden fourth, and then it's going to be Chad Winstead, Terry Brooks, Kenny Brooks, Scott Wheeler, Kevin Kerr, Austin Bloom in 10th, Ty Smith, position number 11. Kenny Brooks out there in position number 8. How about that for the driver of the 54 machine? So far, side by side there with Scott Wheeler. It looks like a very competitive night for every single one of these drivers. They're fighting hard as ever. Yellow flag's out again. Ty Smith is going to spin around. Matthew Rodriguez is. Tyler Rush involved as well. 17 laps through. That's our third caution of the night. And let's find out what happened this time, Bob, because certainly this was a much bigger wreck than the single car incidents or double car incidents we've had beforehand. And we're going to watch with the 72 machine in mind. Coming out of that restart. Tyler Rush got involved. Oh, looks like Ty Smith turns it, overcorrects it, gets to the Scott Zellner. Zellner going to get wrecked. Matthew Rodriguez spins it. And now it's going to be Tyler Rush coming back up onto the racetrack. And Jacob Hall almost makes contact there with Matthew Rodriguez. And that's going to be detrimental to the chances for Scott Zellner there. Zellner, by this point, appears to be off the racetrack. And that is a game changer once again. Lap 19 of 200. And while we're already 20 laps through, it's still a very, very slow pace for every one of these drivers. And we got just about an hour left estimated if we went green flag from here. But I don't think we're going to go from the green all the way. The way this race has gone, 19 laps in, 3 cautions thus far. This is the third of them. We're waiting to see if Adam Bozzi can pull away from Alan Koopman. He's had no opportunity to do so thus far. And Alan Koopman, no matter what car we're running, seems to be a short track ace. Adam Bozzi looking to prove that he's up there with the ranks in the number 8 machine. He's so far led every one of them, all 20, 10th of the way through this one here in Wilkes County. And the exits here on these turns might be some of the cause of the problem, because every single turn in North Wilkesboro is just a bit different, an asymmetrical look, and it's not too noticeable at first, but if you look into the fine lines of it, it absolutely is a different shape throughout the track, and it causes a bit of a challenge. You can have some drivers who are much better through the first two turns, some drivers much better through the final few turns. And as a result, we get a bit of a disparity in terms of who is faster and when. And our sincerest apologies. Not sure what's going to have quite an issue. It looks like our network has dropped, but we are back and trying to fix the issue as we speak. Apologies for what is going on. We are not aware of the issue. This appears to be a network outage in our area. And we look to be back. Our sincerest apologies. We are continuing this broadcast. And we have quite a few issues at hand. Our network has gone out. There's a network outage in our area. But the race goes on. We will continue to broadcast this event to the fullest extent. The race is not over, and we are not done as well. I thank every single one of you for sticking around. It is certainly a trying time here, as it looks like. We've had quite a little bit of an update to our infrastructure for internet, but it's not working out in the right way. We are having quite a bit of a challenge to keep it going here, and we will keep going. We are on our backup internet service already, and we will keep going with our backup internet service until we can get our main line providers up and running. Not sure what's going on, but we will continue on using it right now. Not sure what's going on. And we should be good. Our sincerest apologies. We look to be good to go. Everything is back up. Our backup internet is working, and we are just going to have to load into the session one last time before we get back at it. Sincerest apologies. There's an internet outage in our area, and this is nothing that is in our control. We're going to keep the presentation going, and our sincerest apologies that we have not been able to keep it up smoothly thus far. The race is far from over. Please stick with us. We're glad to have every single one of you here with us. Let's get back to the action here in Wilkes County. The internet issues will not stop us. This race must go on. The Service and Supply Incorporated 200, it's intermission here, and we are sincerely sorry. We are not done yet, and certainly we hope that you are not done watching, because this race is just getting started here, and we are just getting started as well. Thank every single one of you for stopping by, continuing to provide the support. We are grateful for that, especially since it's an issue that we are 100% unaware of. We have reported an outage, and we're trying to find out whether or not this is an issue on our local end or if this is happening within the entire area. But it appears our internet has gone out entirely, and we are on backup service to keep us going. And we hope that you enjoy the presentation from here on out. We're going to make sure that this is the absolute best that you can get, the absolute best that we can get as well. We're far from done here, and we're going to get back to the action in just a few minutes' time. Everything appears to be at full speed when it comes to our backup provider. That is good, but it's not the providing we're not going to be using for the remainder of this series. Getting back to our mainline provider, we'll have that done before the end of this race. And as it stands, Adam Bozzi, he's been putting on a show. Let's get back to talking about the race, because this isn't about our internet. This is about the race. Bozzi putting on a show right now. Top of the charts every single lap. Alan Kuhlman, he's been at the top of it as well. They've been on their A game, and with 200 laps in total, we've already gotten through 20 before we had this internet interruption. Let's see whether or not these guys have gotten any distance from the field, or if we've had a continuing loop of wrecks. Let's get back into it. It looks like we are back into it. Let's go racing once more, live on stream. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for the continued support. We are far from done here as everyone continues to load back in to our service. We're going to refresh our paints and get into it for certain here from Wilkes County. We're under yellow. We missed 18 laps. It is lap 38. And Adam Bozzi is not your leader according to timing and scoring, although that is incorrect. He is still out front over the remainder of the field, and nothing appears to be loading in regards to custom paint schemes, but we are back. And let's get back to the show. Checking our internet connection, it looks like everything is moderately stable. Stable enough to continue using, as Kuhlman is not showing up with his custom scheme on stream. and we're going to continue to work that out here live on Fireball Talks NASCAR. Thank every single one of you for stopping by. 39 laps in, and everyone's custom schemes have dissipated. We're going to send it to Fireball Talks nonstop. You're not going to miss a beat here as we continue to work on this issue behind the scenes.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
We appear to have the issue fixed. Let's get back to the action here in Wilkes County. Green again, led by Adam Bozzi. Everything's getting fixed up. You can see Chad Winstead's paint scheme is already loaded. Let's get back to the show here. And Winstead, we're going to focus on him right now. He looks like he's falling out of the top 5 just slightly. Yellow again, lap 42 of 200. And they're all still wrecking just a bit. Yellow once more. Let's find out why. Scott Wheeler not involved, but it looks like his timing and scoring is showing that he's slowed down exponentially. And Roberto Ramirez on his way as well. We've had yet another yellow, and we look to be mostly under yellow this race. Jason Harris has some damage. Ty Smith as well. Connor Holden damage as well. Let's try again. It's a replay on the matter. Yep, there it is. And Jason Harris absolutely involved in that one. As the 81 machine of Connor Holden spun around, gets to Jason Harris, and that's what causes the wreck here. And that is your incident. We are still led by Adam Bozzi here under yellow once more. Quick intermission as we continue to re-download every single paint scheme, and it looks like that process is halfway complete. Just a quick checkup on the progress, and we are still going here live from broadcast booth, of course. Fireball Talks NASCAR live from the virtual Wilkes County, North Wilkesboro Speedway, and it looks to be led still by Adam Bozzi a quarter of the way through this one. Lap 44 of 200. Lap 45 now of 200. And these guys are fighting as hard as ever. Although it looks like it's a little bit more of a challenge to fight competitively, as it's been a bit of a stalemate due to the fact that we've had a very, very long period of yellow compared to a period of green. Not able to get much green flag racing in thus far. Unfortunately, that has been the case. And we are still checking in on our backup internet service, making sure that it is at its best, and that it appears to be at. Although now we're looking to see a little bit of an influx on our bitrate, trying to keep the management of that stable. Everything should be going. Our apologies, tried to check something behind the scenes, and it looks like that's not going to work out. We are working with what we have here. Alan Coleman's paint scheme has loaded, and it should be Adam Bozzi's next. Bozzi's is one of the few that is not loaded in. Alan Coleman is back. Terry Brooks is back. Everyone's back in their custom colors with the exception of a race leader, and that just can't be. Get back to the driver, the 27 machine, in just a moment's time. Scott Zellner, the 27 position, is your only retiree thus far. He is 15 laps down. Adam Bozzi putting on a clinic thus far. And Adam Bozzi's paint scheme finally looks to be loaded. Let's get back to the show here. Lap 46 of 200. Everyone seems to be ready on screen. Let's see if they're ready off of it. And their individual driver screens, to say the least. Let's see if we can get a green flag running. 47 laps in. Time to get back to the action. Once more, the iRacing pace cars are going to lead them down to lap 48, almost a quarter of the way through this one, and mostly it has been under yellow. Taking it down to the inside line, the iRacing pace car goes, and we are green again from North Wilkesboro. Let's get back at it here, live in the Services Supply 200. And it is great to be back here. Adam Bonney gets a dominating start once more. Alan Goodman there, Terry Brooks, Brad Kress, and Kendall Kerr. And the majority of the field are still watching and waiting as they're double file in the middle of the pack. Side by side, Jason McKee, Jeff Morash, and we've got a wreck. Austin Bloom is involved. Now it's going to be the Ford machine of Clint Spillman. And yet another incident. Quite a bit of a challenge for all of these guys thus far. As we saw Clint Spillman involved, Jeff Morash appeared to be involved as well. Let's get an instant replay on the matter because certainly the number 124 machine was just involved in that incident. Let's see how. Actually going to look just a bit in front, and Clint Spillman using his perspective. Ty Smith was in front for just a moment there, but let's watch. Once more, looks at the 54 machine, is actually going to watch as Kendall Kerr goes around. And Kendall Kerr, how about that? That's where it all began. Let's try to get into the replay on that perspective and find out what happened to the driver of the 21 machine. Here's Kerr. That's where it all began here. Chad Winstead goes down to the inside line. Wheeler goes into Winstead, goes into Kendall Kerr. And Kendall Kerr goes all the way around. Multiple drivers get involved from there. And that's what occurs. Clint Spillman gets turned as well. From there, Spillman, nothing he can do. And Brad Kress, according to time he's scoring, not your race leader. It is, in fact, Adam Bozzi. 51 laps in out of 200. And well, not a great pace. We are a quarter of the way through this one. And hopefully, we'll get a green flag running sometime soon. As everyone is still shuffling in this field. And only one retiree to show for all the incidents. And now it appears we have one driver 9 laps down. That might be our second retirement in Colton Gardner. But nonetheless, 52 laps in, and we have 25 drivers still on the track in competitive shape. And certainly a lot of these guys would be hoping for just a few more drivers to be in that competitive shape. But we go with what we have nonetheless. Looks to be 52 laps in, a single file procedure before we get back to the choose rule in just about a lap's time. 53 now, out of 200. And as we look throughout the back of the field, looks like Austin Bloom involved in that one as well. He's still 7th on the charts. He definitely got into the wall there. You saw him for just a moment, but it looks like he got the better of it compared to a lot of these guys, and he's still in competitive shape. And Austin Bloom flirting with disaster. We've seen him very close to the wall, lap after lap. And he is close as ever to disaster, but he's been able to avoid it. And he seems to have that spirit here tonight to keep him in the top 10. Let's see where he chooses, as it looks like Adam Bozzi goes to the inside line. And it looks like it's going to be Brad Kress and Terry Brooks going to the inside. Winstead and Wheeler go up high. Bloom takes the inside, and the remainder of the field as follows. Looks to be a left-right procedure, a little bit similar to what we saw up front. And some guys came here with throwback schemes, and they are showing the mellow yellow number 31 machine. Dylan Batiste just behind Austin Bloom, glowing. And it looks like it's going to be Andrew Baker with the 43 machine. Kodiak, what a throwback there to the Ricky Craven era. That number 27 machine, way back when. But now it's going to be Adam Bozzi leading the way. Let's get back to the action. 54, now 55 laps in. We're far from done here in Wilkes County. And everyone seems to get away clean and green. That time by, Bozzi gets a great start. Terry Brooks does as well. Alan Cumming gonna have a fight put to him. And on the highline, Adam Bozzi not there, but Terry Brooks gonna fight Alan Cumming away. And Terry Brooks takes second that time by a destroy. These guys are soaring. Terry Brooks, one of them. Alan Cumming also. These guys are fighting as hard as ever. And up to the highline, Alan Cumming gonna take a much higher groove. And grooves are especially important here at North Wilkesboro. You can see that Adam Bozzi seems to have his groove all the way as we've got one involved there. That looks to be Austin Bloom, or rather, it looks to be the driver of Andrew Baker. Baker in the wall, just a blip on the screen there. But we see that his car is destroyed and axle is folded. That's going to take away his winning chances, that's for certain. Baker gets into the wall there. And that's what appeared to have started it. And doesn't cut loose just yet. Coming out of the first two turns. Stays fine. Down to the inside line. And this is when things go awry. Sending it all the way down to the inside. Big hit. And that's Andrew Baker's night in a competitive spot. All but destroyed. As the majority of the field still continues to roll around. Adam Bozzi is your race leader. 59 laps in out of 200. Well, we're slowly but surely cutting away at the time. It's yet another incident. We have not gotten a good green flag run in all night. An unfortunate scenario, but certainly a driver like Adam Bozzi looking at it as a positive when it comes to keeping his lead. But I think by now, he'd love to have had a chance to have raced for any position. He's not had that chance thus far. Terry Brooks in second, Alan Cummins in third, and Brad Kress in position number 4. Brad Kress in fourth now, looking to keep up with his teammate and Alan Cummins, and Terry Brooks has shot out like a cannon, getting himself back up into the runner-up spot, looking to win it for his sponsor, Services and Supply Incorporated. And they're looking great tonight. Will they be able to cap this victory off? We will find out. In so much time before we get the official word on the victor. 60 laps through out of 200. It's 10:20 on the eastern seaboard. And we've gotten just about 40 minutes of action here. 60 laps to show for it. A little bit of a longer night than we have hoped for, but nonetheless, these guys are putting on a great show up front when we do have green flag action. And hopefully, we get just a bit longer green flag action here in Wilkes County. The next gens not being given any mercy by the track. That's not too tough to tame. That's Darlington. This is still proving to be a challenge here. It's a throwback track to the way it was, and a little bit harder to handle with these new cars that aren't all too used to the surface. North Wilkesboro Speedway. And certainly playing out to be a great night for the chances of Scott Wheeler. Kendall Kerr got wrecked out early on. He's in the back of the pack. Well, he is all the way up to 17th now, and Scott Wheeler is in 6th. That's a good enough placement for the driver of the 97 machine to keep himself in the championship mix, and not just keep himself there, but give himself a further advantage over the 13-point gap he has already. And the more points, the better. That's the way it rolls in racing. And 62 laps in, Scott Wheeler chooses the inside line, and it's still led flag to flag thus far by Adam Bozzi. He doesn't have to save fuel just yet. We haven't used all too much fuel, although we got through more than a quarter of the race, and we're nearing the halfway point already. The iRacing pace car going to roll them in. Let's see what they have in store for the driver of Bozzi. Terry Brooks on the high side, looking to get something done for his sponsor. The hometown sponsor of Services Supply. They've got a driver representing them on the front row. Green again, led by Bozzi. Let's get to the show once more. And down to the inside line, Alan Cummins goes. Adam Bozzi on a tear thus far. Terry Brooks there as well. They're side by side for position number 2. And let's focus on the back of the pack here. A lot of turmoil. But this time by, it looks to be quite a few drivers who are not in the mix anymore. You can see every single one of them fighting as hard as ever. Side by side, Jeff Morash is with Matthew Rodriguez. And everyone here doing a great job of keeping it together. We might just get a long green flag run in this time by. Matthew Rodriguez there just behind Caleb Morrissey, line out one for the 57 machine. Now side by side with Dylan Petit. Kenny Brooks just behind him. There's a lot of angles seen in one perspective. The rear view camera. Gonna get a little bit of a nudge there by Kenny. Gonna get him on the inside line there with Dylan Petit. Side by side, Caleb Morrissey's there. And Caleb Morrissey moving in the 8th position, trying to chase down James McKee. Now we'll watch from James McKee's rear view camera, see what he sees, or rather, what he sees out of the rear view mirror. The 8 machine out front is a teammate of that 8 machine, the 9 machine, getting some pressure from the 6 here. And last time by, James McKee was just about 0.07 of a second slower. We do have a car that has spun, and there is not a caution for that driver. we stay green, and we stay focusing on the green flag driving, as it looks to now be a single file order. And we don't have an incident on track just yet. Could be now, we might just be getting it all in order for the first time tonight. Caleb Morrissey going around the outside on James McKee. Going to be a bit of a risk, but he looks to have the pace, and the Jonestown Jet goes for it. And it looks like the Channel Lock Machine is going to have it on lock. Side by side, the 6 and 9R. But Morrissey has the advantage in the car. McKee has the better line, but Caleb Morrissey will make it happen regardless. There he goes. And he slices and dices through. Caleb Morrissey on his way like a jet. And there he goes. That is for position number 7. Brad Kress, 4th position right now. Alan Goodman is in 3rd. And Adam Bozzi is in 4th. Now up to 2nd as Brad Kress scored in 4th. Alan Goodman up to 3rd. A little bit of a shuffle there in the outside podium places. Terry Brooks is your new race leader. And Brooks looks like a man on a mission tonight. Adam Bozzi falling back. And Brooks making it happen on the inside line. He's running very close to the inside retaining fence. A little closer than the majority of these drivers. Running it just a bit differently. Seems to be playing to his favor. 72 laps in. Still a chance that we can go green from here on out. Terry Brooks here to make it happen. In the number 23 machine, and the majority of the field is not able to get a green flag running thus far. It's a bit of an adaptation as Adam Bozzi has some pressure now from Alan Goodman. Let's watch on board with the driver of that 8 machine in Goodman and see what he sees as the race goes on. And you can see coming up to the inside, or rather the outside of Adam Bozzi, trying to find a way to nudge him through. That is crucial. As he looks for a chance. Goes down to the inside line of Bearcat Motorsports number 27 machine. Nothing that time by. But he's looking on the outside and the inside, trying to diamond arc the corner. Not able to make it happen that time by. And look at them go. Adam Bozzi has a little bit of advantage that time by. He might be gaining one as the race goes on. 76 laps through 200 in total. Brad Kress has some pressure from Chad Winstead and Scott Wheeler. Caleb Morrissey has made his way up into 7th. Looking to capitalize on the good pace he usually has. Just isn't able to bring it to the finish most times. And he's running just about top 5 pace. Even though he's not in that top 5. Caleb Morrissey in the 6th machine. Except right now, looking for just a bit more to get him up into that top 5. We'll see whether or not he's able to do so. He looks to have the pace to do it. Just does he have the time? We're going to have to find out. Back to the pack. Looks to be the closest battles of this race thus far. Roberto Ramirez and Matthew Rodriguez and Kendall Kerr. Kerr looking to get back into the battle. He's at 14. Looking to get closer and closer to the front. Trying to find a way around Ramirez and Brandon Wenchard. Wenchard in the 26 machine. Gonna get wiggled out there. No contact. But he's going to lose the spot to Kendall Kerr. And then you're going to have Tyler Rush right beside him. 79 laps out on 200. And we are in the midst of our first long green flag run. Brad Kress side by side with Alan Goodman. They're going to fight side by side once again. And to the stripe that time by. Goodman got him. But Brad Kress has the advantage in the corners. That matters, especially at a track like North Wilkesboro. Ripping it up high, all the way high. He's going to rip it back out. And Alan Goodman fights as hard as ever. And he still continues to have that 3rd position by just a bit of hair. Now Brad Kress has it. They're still dead even with Chad Winstead providing the pressure for both. Side by side. This is for position number 3. Let's watch on board with Chad Winstead from the nose camera and see what he sees. Let's find out how it is for the driver of that number 10 machine, managing both drivers just in front of him. See, getting up to the quarter panel of Alan Goodman. Brad Kress there as well. Almost dead even. And that time by getting up to the bumper of Goodman. No contact. And sliding back in. Chad Winstead does. Coming in 4th. Brad Kress in 3rd. Adam Bozzi in second position. These guys in the top 5 are running as fast as they have all night long. The exception of a bit of a tire fall off by just about half a second. But nonetheless, it looks to be a train between 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Winstead watching and waiting for perhaps a chance to get in the mix. We'll see whether or not he takes said chance when it's given to him. Adam Bozzi there, and looking to be there at the tail end of it. 85 laps through, almost halfway through this one, and looks to be the green flag pace is settling in. We've got no incident thus far. Dylan Petit side by side with Kendall Kerr. Kendall Kerr on a tear. He's going to go around for 11th if he has his way here with Dylan. Caleb Morrissey caught by James McKee. They're fighting for 7th now. McKee looking to get it back. Caleb Morrissey not looking to give it up, but it looks like that time by he will give up 7th. Bozzi side by side for position number 2. Terry Brooks is in 1st. Alan Kuhlman 4th. Chad Winston is in 5th. 6th, Scott Wheeler. 7th, James McKee. And now, Caleb Morrissey slotted back into 8th. He's going to try to find a way to get the pace together. He's still fighting as hard as ever. Nonetheless, we'll see whether or not he's able to hold on. Night goes on, and we've got the chat back again. Scout Zellner saying that's a garbage racetrack, garbage setup, what a jug of a race. Sad that we look like a bunch of morons that can't drive, and no clue why the admins put this on the schedule every year. Looks to be some choice words there from Scout Zellner. Appreciate the feedback, but certainly not a good race for the driver. The all-time wins leader in this league, providing his feedback, and we appreciate it, and we hope to see you back next week. Certainly just not the way it went. Rather, not the way you hoped to go for the driver of that 2 machine. Not a strong way to bring out a new livery, a new design for the remainder of the season for Scott Zellner. CC Marie and Lawrence Stazensky, or rather, Dazwisky. My apologies. I am not going to get in here tonight when it comes to a pronunciation. Lawrence, CC Marie, and SSBB Nightwing all seem to be on the team of Caleb Morrissey. Huckle as well. Caleb Morrissey's fans have come out in droves, and you can see now he's fighting with the driver, the 54, in Eddie Brooks. And Lawrence Dazwisky Jr., my apologies there. Looks to be a huge club of fans here for Caleb Morrissey, as we see the feedback from Scott Zellner as well. Terry Brooks still to the point here. Brad Crescent 2nd, Adam Bozzi 3rd, Chad Winstead in 4th, and Alan Kuhlman in 5th. As the race goes on, Alan Kuhlman is side by side with Scott Wheeler, and Wheeler looking to make it happen as Chad Winstead is there as well. Winstead gets by. Now it's time for Chad Winstead to see what he's made of. Brad Cress in 2nd, and Terry Brooks in 1st. Adam Bozzi, as it looks like we have a yellow flag out for Alan Kuhlman. Alan Kuhlman falling down the running order big time there. Yes, he is. That's a spin for the driver of the 8 machine. 94 laps in. We're almost halfway through, and we just had about a 40-lap green flag run, the longest all night. Let's see what happened. And Kuhlman gets it up high. No incident thus far. As you saw, getting filed out by the Ford Mustangs of Winstead. Scott Wheeler. And with Winstead and Wheeler in tow, Alan Kuhlman had no choice but to try to slot into the middle. Gets tapped by Wheeler. Gets tapped again. And that's going to cause a yellow. Just has to back it down. Caution is out. 95 laps in. For Alan Kuhlman getting tapped around by Scott Wheeler. Terry Brooks leading the majority of the field onto pit road. Let's watch the race off and see who's able to get the victory here in the race off of pit road. An especially important one this time by, the first and perhaps the only on strategy tonight. We've got 96 laps without one, a little bit of an extended run, as we've already got one out. That's Brandon Wencher. Then it's going to be the driver, Jacob Halm, and let's see who gets it this time by. Now it's going to be Terry Brooks getting out in front of Bozzi, then Brad Kress, then Chad Winstead, Scott Wheeler, Caleb Morrissey, James McKee, Kendall Kerr, then Tyler Rush, Kenny Brooks, then it's going to be the 50 machine, the 4 machine, Clint Spillman, Dylan Petit, and of course that's going to be the 50 of Garrett Sidnor. Terry Brooks comes out behind Brandon Wencher, who comes back down on pit road. Roberto Ramirez leads the way here in North Wilkesboro. Pit lane empty for the most part. A few drivers getting damage repaired. Ramirez leading. Terry Brooks in second. And Adam Bozzi is in third. 97 laps out of 200. What a show that has been put on here tonight. 97 laps through, and we've still got just about 100 when we're going to get back to the green flag to show who's going to be the top driver here in North Wilkesboro. Let's find out who's got what it takes. It looks like now it's going to be Roberto Ramirez leading the way on 59 lap old tires, and he is not moving out of the way. It looks like it's going to be the Roberto Ramirez machine leading Terry Brooks. So we got one going on the grass there. That's going to be the 81 machine. And not sure what's going on. As he takes it all the way down. Below the white line, actually onto the grass there. And back on his way for the 81 of Holden. And how about that for the driver of the 81 as Roberto Ramirez still leads over the remainder of the pack. Ramirez, Terry Brooks, Brad Kress, Adam Bozzi, and Chad Winstead rounds out your top 5. Lap 99 of 200. Let's get back into the swing of things here in North Wilkesboro. Roberto Ramirez looking to get something done on an alternate strategy. He is not pitted. He is on 60 lap old tires. Rest of the field appears to be on a fresh set. Let's see what works out the best. Coming down to the stripe, iRacing pace cars underway, and we are green again from North Wilkesboro. Lap 100, it's underway. Let's get back at it. Brooks gets a clear and away. Better start, and Roberto Ramirez is going to have to pick up the pieces. Terry Brooks gets right out in front of the remainder of the field. Ramirez holds on for just about a lap to second, and the remainder of the field is already getting held up by the 42 machine, who's fighting as hard as ever to keep the pace. 4/10 off as is. And he's going to go all the way to the high line and get a little bit of a scrape there. Everyone works their way around the 42. Still trying to keep it in competitive position, but it's not going to work out. 60 lap old tires versus 6 lap old tires. It doesn't play out in favor for Roberto Ramirez, who's going to lose a lot of time. Very, very quick. Lap 102 of 200, led by Brooks. Yellow flags out again. Caleb Morrissey, let's see if he's involved. Looks like the back of the pack is going to have a few guys here involved, including Andrew Baker. And let's check on Jeff Morash. As a matter of fact, he looks to have some damage here. Let's find out how it was. Some of these guys, it looks like the yellow had just occurred. We don't see anything on our screen just yet. Checking the blimp cam to try to find out the incident. And there it was, just in front. Kenny Brooks involved, and we're going to check on Kenny Brooks because that's where the number 54 machine went awry. And we can see it on our screens there. And we're going to try to send it up to the feed of the wreck, not necessarily live feed. And Caleb Morrissey was involved there. As Morrissey goes around, it looks to be the first driver involved. As a matter of fact, no. Morrissey gets scored, gets it to Ramirez. Kendall Kerr goes around. Morrissey goes around. Cliff Spielman spins it. And Roberto Ramirez watches as the remainder of the field goes all the way around. Caleb Morrissey spinning it out. Kendall Kerr wrecking it. That brings out yet another caution. 105 laps into this event. Harry Brooks leading the way. Lap 105, more than halfway through. Can he pull it off? We'll just have to wait and see. He looks to have some good pace already. He's just going to have to wrap it up in style. We'll see whether or not he has the pace to keep it going. And Terry Brooks, followed by Brad Kress and Adam Bozzi. That is your top 3 here tonight. The blimp camera shows a few drivers outside of the competitive battle here, going on to pit road. Drivers a lap down, maybe a bit more. Already coming their way down. Trying to get an alternate strategy, perhaps put them back into winning contention. If luck so has it. There is Terry Brooks. who has been fighting as hard as ever all night long. He is your race leader. Let's see what he has in store for the remainder of these guys, as he is your leader. And the remainder of the field just wants to catch him, and he's not going to let them have that without a fight. Slowly rolling, and Caleb Morrissey saying sorry, guys. An unfortunate circumstance for Caleb Morrissey, running so well here tonight, running up in the top 5 at the tail end of that long green flag run, running very close to it, as a matter of fact. An unfortunate scenario for Morrissey, was now in 18th position, 6 seconds off of the leader, and looks to be the last driver on the lead lap, as a matter of fact. Harry Brooks leading them, nonetheless, coming down to the stripe. Should be choose rule in effect this time by, although it is not. We just had an incident. We try to find out who that was, although the camera is not showing us anything.
Green flag.
Green flag is on our way. Here we go. It looks like there's a bit of a timing and scoring error. We're back at it. Let's get to it. Led by Terry Brooks. Adam Bozzi. He is in the second position. Now he's going to go to first for just a moment, but Terry Brooks still holds on. Lap 108 out of 200. And how about that? The 23 machine getting some pressure for the first time here tonight ever since he took the lead. Let's find out what he has in store for these guys. It looks like he's going to have to put his A game to it. Now these guys have the pace that he has. 13 lap old tires. They seem to be dead even. Now, first time all race. Alan Goodman, position number 6. Going up to the high line. James McKee there as well. We got a spin in the back. It looks like Jeff Morash involved. Morash going to go around, but it looks like he's going to save it. No yellow. Lap 110 of 200. Nothing going to be called for the driver of Jeff Morash. The triple-digit threat. Almost threatening this green flag run. We're still going nonetheless. Look at that. Glenn Spillman on his way, but this battle in the top 5, it is intense. James McKee, Allen coming rounding out this pack. Let's get a little bit of closer look at the drone camera to watch these guys out front. And you see Brooks taking it all the way up to the high line here, and here's the difference in lanes. Terry Brooks taking that second line all the way down to the first. Brad Crescent running a little bit of a higher line compared to the majority of these guys, and you're going to see it more pronounced through the first 2 turns. Going down to the apron almost for Terry Brooks, while Brad Crest tries to diamond it through, and he gets a bit of a better exit as a result on Adam Bozzi, getting slowly but surely on the driver of the 27 machine. Scott Wheeler, 4th, James McKee in 5th, and Alan Kuhlman is in position number 6. These guys are rolling as hard as ever as the night goes on. Terry Brooks still is your race leader. He's had A-game pace all night long for the Services Supply Incorporated machine. And their sponsored race here at North Wilkesboro would be a magical victory for Terry Brooks to get it done here tonight. North Wilkesboro for his sponsor. And we'll see whether or not he's able to do so. He has a 7/10 of a second advantage built up already. A 19-lap-old stint on tires. Scott Wheeler there as well. He's going to be side by side with James McKee. Kendall Kerr trying to roll his way back into the battle. He is now all the way down in 15th. Not able to make it happen. He has a load of residual damage. Unfortunately, Kendall Kerr having a hard time here tonight. Caleb Morse has been as well. He's at 14th after that incident. And Kenny Brooks not up front, but Terry Brooks is up front as Adam Bozzi just behind him. Now by 6/10 of a second, he has gained just a bit. Still, quite a large deficit for the driver of the 27 machine to close up on who else but Terry Brooks has been leading this one ever since he took it just about 50-odd laps ago. Winstead goes down to the inside line on Alan Kuhlman. Look at him go. And he's fighting as hard as ever. Down to the inside, he has gone. Shadow Winstead right there with Alan Kuhlman, but this time I'm not going to be able to fight double file. Kuhlman rolling slowly. Yellow flag is out once again. It's going to involve not Kayla Morrissey, but this time by, it does involve Connor Holden. Let's get an instant replay on the matter. Trying to find out what happened. But surely there's something we can find. Try to see if we can see Connor Holden, just a blip unfortunately not able to focus on what's going on in specific. So he loads up on the screen. So wait to find the official verdict on the replay. Saw him go around. By that point, he already was around. Nothing we can see beforehand. And he loads back in. By the time he's already apparently broken an axle, and that is indeed the case. Something is wrong with that Connor Holden machine. Big time. And not much you can do to fix it. Let's go down pit road. That car is killed. Terry Brooks, nonetheless, still your leader. 121 laps in. The Services Supply Incorporated 200. How about that for the driver, the 23 machine, doing great here tonight. And Brooks leading over Bozzi. We're going to take a brief intermission, but it's only going to be a visual intermission as we will keep you up to date, making sure our interview system is at its best. Going to make sure that we can get every single driver we want to interview at the tail end of this one. It looks like Terry Brooks will be one of those drivers. He's been putting it to the test all night long. A great job of the driver of that 23 machine. And he's pushing like he's never pushed before. Hoping to see much more out of him as the season goes on, doing great so far, nonetheless. And Adam Bozzi in second, followed by Brad Crest, James McKee, and Scott Wheeler has made his way all the way up. Of course, in the fifth position, doing great here tonight. They are a single file ordeal, even still. 123 laps in on this 200 lap event. Scott Wheeler looking to get it done. He has been on a roll this season. Absolutely the most consistent driver. Although it looks like his consistency might be waning just a bit as the season has gone on. But he still looks to be up there in the championship contention. But it's anyone's race in the title. One bad race might put you all the way behind in the championship hunt. But for Scott Wheeler, he has not found one bad race. His worst finish was still in the top 10. And he has been pushing all the way, no matter what track we go to, and no matter when we go to said track. He's been on a roll every single week of asking. And these drivers will be able to have a week off next week for Thanksgiving. We will have a break from the action, but we hope you do enjoy this before we get back to the swing of things on December 1st. Not just for the Iora Cup Series, which was broadcasted earlier tonight, but of course for the Highline Racing League HighPoint Premier Series, which will be back in 14 days' time. Terry Brooks leading this pack, even still, lap 124. Let's get back at it. Lap 125 going to be led. Green flag once again. And we got one big-time impact there. Not sure if they're going to call it. That was a major impact into the barrier. And it looks like the driver, whoever it was, is not loading up. Let's find out what's going on there. Just a moment's time. The race is still going. Terry Brooks leading away. Kyle Freeman coming into the chat saying, "What's up?" And what's up, Kyle Freeman? And surely you've gotten a lot of experience with the next gens as of recent. We've seen you back-to-back race tonight, but this is a race you're not in. And of course, still the same cars. But a lot of different drivers, especially Terry Brooks being one of the unique drivers up here, sponsored by a racing sponsor, having some ties to them, and he's showing why he's got him. He's side by side with Adam Bozzi's, and they're double file, 23 and 27, 127 laps in. Scott Wheeler gonna get spun, almost that's gonna bring out the yellow. And Scott Wheeler almost goes around in front of the entire field. Yellow flag is out. And that's going to jeopardize the lead, or rather the advantage he had over Kendall Kerr, and change up the championship race all over again. The 13-point advantage he had might have just been brought down by quite a few points. Instant replay, let's find out what happened. And as you can see, side by side, double file. Here we go. Brad Crest is the 29 machine, by the way, Kyle Freeman. So if you want to root for him, there he is, Brad Crest. And Scott Wheeler lost it on his own there. And he was able to keep it off of the wall. As far as we are aware, he was down to just about 5 miles an hour before he despawned there. And not sure why, but yes, he did keep it off of the wall. And Brad Kress is now in third with Adam Bozzi in the first position, leading the way. We are going to get back to the action in just a moment's time. Lap 130 of 200. And how about that? 71 laps to go. It's going to be 70 laps to go this time by. And it's been a great night of action. Unfortunately, not a lot of green flag runs that have been very, very long. This track has proved to be quite tricky nonetheless. Adam Bozzi, new race leader. Once again, Terry Brooks has been dominating this one. Now, Bozzi, your pole sitter, looking to prove that he's got what it takes to get it done in style. 70 laps to go to decide this race here in Wilkes County. Only so much time before we can see who's going to come out the winner. We'll have the truth rule back in effect once more. Championship race, you're going to have to start paying attention to it. Because now, it's going to be Kendall Kerr and Scott Wheeler fighting through the back of the pack to try to get all the way up front. Kendall Kerr in 10th. Scott Wheeler is down in a position 18. And now up to 17th, getting past Caleb Morrissey. But it's a 7-position deficit, and that means the world when these two, Kendall Kerr and Scott Wheeler, have been so consistent all season long. Let's see who will be able to pull it off and get the better finish out of the top two championship contenders tonight. 69 laps to go. We are still pacing under yellow. Adam Bozzi, Terry Brooks. It's been a two-man show, led most by Terry Brooks, but Adam Bozzi was your pole sitter, and he's looking to finish it off strong. He's back out front for a reason. Let's find out whether or not he's able to keep it that way. Bearcat Motorsports, represented well here tonight in the 27 machine, is the race leader. Here we go again, coming down to the choose rule once more. And here we go. Bozzi, Brooks, Kress, James McKee. 68 laps remaining. Chad Winston in 5th, James McKee just beside him. And Dillabati saying, let's get the Queen City Racing win for the number 2 machine. And how about that? And I believe he actually means the number 27 machine. If he's saying Adam Bozzi, because Bozzi's on a roll tonight, but he's not in the 2 machine. As a matter of fact, I don't believe anyone here is in, with the exception of Scott Zellner, of course, who is in the 2. Let's get back at it. Here we go. Number 27 machines to the point. Let's go. Adam Bozzi, green again in North Wilkesboro. Saying almost fell asleep and took a wall down. How about that? And it is pretty late here, 10:51 on the East Coast. Adam Bozzi, though, looking to have no fatigue from the later racing. How about that? Team win number 2. Well, I guess I read it just a bit wrong. I was thinking it was the driver number. Queen City Racing looking for the second win on the season. And how about that? Adam Bozzi representing well. Terry Brooks has been representing himself well as well. And how about that? These two guys have been on a tear as Brad Kress is following them in the number 29 machine. How we go on board with the driver of that 29 and see what he sees as the race goes on. Here is the onboard from Brad Kress. 64 laps to go. Going to be a lot of time to strategize until the tail end of it, where crunch time really comes into effect. And Brad Kress certainly knows this. He's going to go down to the inside line with the remainder of the guys, and he can see that these two are going to be fighting each other to the tail end. Looks to be a little more of a feather on the throttle there. A little bit lighter, as you could hear a little bit of an on and off effect with the audio there. And taking that into account, we're going to see a lot of driving, not just in the wheel, but in the pedals for Brad Kress, if he keeps it the way he's gone. Pressing the 29, all the way to the high side, gonna go breaking it down to the low. Trying to keep it there, he gets a really good entry, and he gets a very good midpoint as well, but the exits are where he seems to be lacking as he comes up on Terry Brooks for the first time here. Let's see what Terry Brooks sees out of that rear view mirror. Finding it out, you can see he's got a rear view mirror full of Brad Kress. We're watching for the outside of the car. Terry Brooks has to hold on against one of the best in the business here in Brad Kress and James McKee and Alan Cummin. They're all 3 teammates. With 3 teammates behind you, you make one mistake, you're going to get slotted out by 3 drivers. 60 laps to go. You don't want to do that with so little time on the books here. 141 laps down, 60 left to play this one out. And Cress on a tear as well. Terry Brooks having a great race. Slowly but surely fading away from Adam Bosby, looking for that second win on the season here for Queen City Racing. Key fourth, Alan Kuhlman fifth, Chad Winstead sixth, Clint Spillman is in seventh, making a great run, although he hasn't been involved in quite a few incidents. Looks to have that car repaired. And now, it looks to be Kendall Kerr fighting with Scott Wheeler as Wheeler's up in 11th. And now, Kendall Kerr's trying to go for 9th, trying to get just a bit of an advantage over his championship rival. He's not going to be able to make it happen that time by. Has to conserve just a bit. 58 laps to decide this one. And Bozzy leading them through. As they roar through Wilkes County once again, you have to ask, when are they going to turn it up all the way? Of course, certainly, they're pushing it to the limit right now. Their tire fall-off is only 0.3 of a second after 49 laps. You must believe that there's a little bit more stored in the tank, and Terry Brooks might just be using it right now. He gets it right up to Brad Cress, and now right up to Adam Bosby. He's in just a bit of a sandwich when it comes to those 20 numbers, the 27 and the 29, and the 23 fitting right in the middle of these two right now. 56, 55 laps left. Now it's going to be Adam Bosby looking at Terry Brooks. He's going to go up to the high side. Terry Brooks, as Kenny Brooks is not in this one competitively, unfortunately. Brad Cress watches and waits as he gets up to the lower side there and goes down on the inside. Driving the 23 machine. Gonna have to fight side by side for position number 2. James McKee watching and waiting. Alan Kuhlman is there as well. The top 5 separated by only 0.7 of a second. A very close margin between every single one of those guys in that top 5. 54 becomes 53 laps to go to decide this one. The Service Supply Incorporated 200. Let's get out of here in Wilkesboro, North Wilkesboro Speedway. Side by side for just a moment. It looks like Terry Brooks will concede to Brad Cress. Cress gets second. Time for the Blacktop Racing boys to get through on Terry Brooks. Let's see whether or not they can get through him easily. Brooks putting on one incredible fight. As it looks like Kendall Kerr going to get by on Clint Spillman there. That is for 8th. And Scott Wheeler has gotten a little bit of a landlock. He's not able to get by Dylan Petit. Spillman goes very, very high there, trying to fight with momentum compared to Kendall Kerr's optimal line. Kerr gets him that time by. That seems to be the move. It's going to put him in the books. 8th position there. It's going to be locked up for Kendall Kerr for now. Scott Wheeler 3 positions back. He has gained some spots, but overall, Kendall Kerr's been able to gain just enough to keep an advantage. And Adam Bosby to watch. Adam Bosby will continue to wait to see whether or not anyone's going to be able to make a threat to his now newfound dominance once again. 49 laps to go to decide this. Single file ordeal throughout the majority of the racetrack. Scott Wheeler getting held up. That is for certain. Clint Spillman and Dylan Petit not giving him an easy time. That is evident. Scott Wheeler going to go down to the inside line, trying to fight Dylan Petit for position number 10. On the inside there, nothing comes of it. Dylan Petit able to defend, and it looks like now Matthew Rodriguez making a charge as he is now on 153 lap old tires, fighting with Garrett Sitton, who has 53 lap old tires. Incredibly impressive. He's on the same set of tires as every other driver. Well, he was until they all pitted, and he's the only man on the original set. How about that? And he's still fighting in 13th position. He was making a little bit of a charge there, but it looks like he's going to have to cool those tires down as they are absolutely the oldest by over 100 laps. The remainder of the field not be expecting that one. If they knew the statistic off the top of their head. But right now, Adam Bosby still leads, and they're double file in the back of the pack for just a moment. Rather the middle of the pack, James McKee side by side with Terry Brooks, Alan Kuhlman watching and watching from afar here on the blimp camera. You can see side by side the 23 machine might just have to concede that time by. That he does. Now Alan Kunman's battle to fight. Let's see what he's going to do about it. Now Terry Brooks goes down to the inside line. It will not work out, and Kunman is going to be able to use a lot of momentum to keep himself in the battle. 44 laps remain. And up to the high line. Chad Winstead there for just a moment, but Terry Brooks fading just a bit. 62 laps in. This is the longest run we have had on green. And Alan Kunman using that to his advantage. He's going to slowly but surely maneuver his way around Terry Brooks. And he's almost there. Now, it appears he is dead even. And from there, it becomes just a bit of a cakewalk to get through. 11 o'clock on the eastern coast. And almost time to wrap this one up. 42 laps remain. It was originally a little bit of an action-packed race when it came to the amount of caution, but it looks like now, as everything mellows out, we will have a green flag run perhaps to decide this race, but if not, no! Side by side, the leaders are going to wreck. Yellow flag is out. The top two drivers take each other out, and this changes everything. Your race leaders just got into one another. How about that? Brad Kress into Adam Bozzi, first and second, and they just took each other out of the top places. Kress gets right there, and you can see he's gaining time, that's for certain. Backs it down on the inside line, makes a huge lunge, gets to the inside, taps Kress, and he just taps right through. And how about that? They slide on one another. And it looks like they're not destroyed, but they are definitely out of great positioning. And this falls back into Terry Brooks' lap. Wow. James McKee, Alan Kunman. Now Chad Winstead and Terry Brooks. The majority of the field is going to come down, and James McKee is not going to choose to do just that. And a little bit of a bold choice there. We'll see whether or not he regrets it as the race goes on. This is the race off of pit road. Alan Kunman going to bring a majority of these guys in. Adam Bozzi on his way as well. And Adam Bozzi watching as Alan Kunman in his rearview mirror is going to be the one that misses the pit stall. 39 laps left to settle. On his way, there goes Winstead, and he is out. Then it's Matthew Rodriguez, Terry Brooks, Alan Kunman, Brad Kress, Garrett Sidnor, Jacob Halm, and finally, Kenny Brooks. To round out your run off pit road, the winner off pit road will be very far off. Actually, a matter of fact, we have a lot of guys who have chosen not to go on pit road. Chad Winstead, the winner off pit road. It appears, according to timing and scoring, although Austin Bloom coming down right now. We have a big shuffle, timing and scoring. We'll find out whether or not it's accurate in just a moment's time. 38 laps to go. From North Wilkesboro, we've got only so much time to decide it. 38 laps the distance. A 200 lap event. We made it almost all the way. Let's just see how these guys take it from here. Because this will be the tone setter for the remainder of this season, I believe. Because this one's been quite different for the remainder of these races. From one of the shortest events we've had all season. Perhaps what might be one of the longest. We've already gone past 11 Eastern Seaboard time. And let's find out who gets it done. North Wilkesboro Speedway tonight. Kendall Kerr, Scott Wheeler, championship rivals out front. But it's going to be James McKee leading them back to the green for the first time tonight. Green flag is out. Let's get back to the action. We are green from North Wilkesboro. And now Kendall Kerr going to go to the high side. Now going to go just a bit lower. Not the right after the driver in the 21 machine. Yellow flag's out again. We're going to try to find out why Scott Selner's back out on the racetrack. Although we are not sure what caused the yellow flag. Hunter Holden is on pit road, but he's been there for quite a while now. So that is not the case. Andrew Baker, Jeff Morash appears to have some damage. Check out on him and see whether or not he was involved in that yellow. Check the blimp camera to try to find out. Dylan Petit looks to now be, according to time, scored all the way up there. And Jeff Morash shows up for just a blip. And we are not able to capture that incident. Andrew Baker there, everyone backs it down, 34 laps to go, we are still racing. And only Jeff Morash appears to have some semblance of damage. Dylan Petit fighting James McKee for the race victory. And as we have just a bit of time, we're going to send it back to Fireball Talks nonstop. We hope you enjoy the presentation. We are far from done here tonight. I would thank every single one of you for the support. We are just getting started. 34 laps left to decide this race victory. Let's see who gets it done. Thank you all for stopping by already, and we hope you enjoy this brief presentation and trailer brought to you by the Highline Racing League. And we got to thank the guys at the Highline Racing League for making that video for us. Let's get back to the action here, because it looks like we are getting back to the green flag in just a moment's time. 31 laps to go. And that is going to be the remainder of this event in its entirety. 31 cycles around North Wilkesboro Speedway to decide your race winner in the 8th race of the season, heading into Thanksgiving break. Let's get back out of the iRacing pace cars, back down on pit road. We are green again. Let's go racing. Dylan Petit on the high side there. Kendall Kerr is as well. Scott Wheeler just beside him. And Clint Smillman just there as well. Terry Brooks. And now it looks to be 3 wide there. Wheeler, Kendall Kerr, and it looks like it's going to be Clint Smillman who backs down. They're double file nonetheless. James McKee leading just slightly over Dylan Petit. They are fighting as hard as ever. Petit tries to make a crossover move, not going to be able to make it happen. Going to go to the high side, tries to get some momentum out of it. Dylan Body absolutely rooting for Dylan Petit here tonight. Petit putting on a show, but James McKee is as well. Dylan Petit goes to the inside line. We might see a battle for the lead here. Let's find out. Petit, and it looks like we're going to have one spinning back up the racetrack. That's going to be the driver of the 4 and Clint Spillman. Yellow is not out. Everyone appears to have saved it. Brandon Wencher gets in the wall. Terry Brooks has not saved it. Yellow flag's out. And Terry Brooks goes around on that note. We will have yet another yellow flag. And let's find out what happened. Sending it back just about a half minute to try to find out what occurred in that incident. And Brooks down to the inside line. Goes up high. Clint Spillman spins, almost, but saves it. And there's a little bit of a stack up front. And it looks like Terry Brooks loses it on his own accord there. And that brings out the yellow flag. 26 laps to go. And that is the conclusion of that replay. And on to the live feed once more. James McKee leading just slightly over Dylan Petit. The battle is heating up between those two. And let's see how they battle each other with now 25 laps remaining here in Wilkes County. Going to be a hard fight to the end between these two drivers. Oh, so competitive. And absolutely non-stop yellows, unfortunately. And I would argue, unfortunately again, I think we've had few more yellow flag laps than we have green flag laps. Maybe that's a little bit balanced out by the fact we've had 2 long green flag runs, but we've had a majority of these laps under yellow. The first 50 laps were practically all yellows, unfortunately, and then we had the longest green flag run of the night, actually the second longest, which was about 35 laps, and we had a little bit of a blip again, and then we had about a 40 lap run. And now, coming toward the end, another set of yellows, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Challenging track this is, and the car's brand new, a lot of things to adapt to. And under the heat of the championship battle, everything is compounding. And as a result, seeing an action-packed racing that's resulted in quite a few cautions. 24 laps once again. And only so much time before we get back to the show here. And a driver like James McKee certainly ready to get back at it. We will not have the truth ruled this time by, but certainly going to be coming around next time by if it hasn't come around this time. 178 laps out of 200. And we're going to try to crank it up this time by. Hopefully we'll have enough of a green flag run for it to be used. We will find out. 23 laps to go as we speak. And it's James McKee, Dylan Petit, Scott Wheeler, Kendall Kerr, Alan Kuhlman, Chad Winstead, Brad Kress, and Austin Bloom. Kenny Brooks in 9th position with Matthew Rodriguez, position number 10. Caleb Morrissey in 11th, Clint Smooman in 12th, and Garrett Sidnor in 13th. Double file now. James McKee leading the field over Dylan Petit, Scott Wheeler, and Kendall Kerr. With Alan Kuhlman in 5th. McKee in the 1st position. And let's see whether or not he can finish that way. TrackCams22.com. 22 laps to go. You already know we're going to mention them. The best cameras on iRacing. And we've been using them every single broadcast week after week. And if you want the presentation like we do, be sure to check them out. TrackCams22.com. The best place to be. Green again. Let's get it cranked up. Here we go. Once more. Crank it up. Brought to you by TrackCams22 with 21 laps to go. Yellow flag's out once again. And at least we caught that one on screen. Let's try to roll back the tape, and that looked to be the Jacob Halm machine. And that it was. Jacob Halm just got taken out. See it there. Brief crank it up. These guys are certainly running the clock out here. We have 19 laps remaining. Halm taken out. I'm going to try to find some context to that maneuver because it certainly looks like a lunge. But the Jason Harris machine gets right into him. But from there, he appears to just have disappeared. And he is on pit road now. Looks like he's already towed it around. It's Dylan Petit with 19 laps to go. Leads the field. James McKee 2nd. Scott Wheeler Jr. in 3rd. Alan Kuhlman in 4th. Kendall Kerr is in 5th. Chad Winstead 6th and Austin Bloom in 7th. Matthew Rodriguez in 8th and Brad Kress in position number 9. Caleb Morrissey in 10th. Kenny Brooks in 11th. Brandon Wenjard in 12th. Clint Spillman in 13th. And Garrett Sidnor in position number 14 with Terry Brooks in 15th. Morrissey finding his way back up into the top 10. Seems that his night is far from over following that incident that looked to have taken him out. 180 laps in, around 183 laps in, he's still fighting. As if that incident never occurred, he's still got some good pace in that car remaining. James McKee in that 2nd position. In the 9 car, 17 laps remain. Watching and waiting to get back at it as Dylan Petit leads what is the first stint of his lead all night long. But dominated by 2 drivers in Kenny Brooks and, of course, driver Adam Bosby, but both of them are not out front right now, leading to a different complexion up front. And certainly going to be a fun one to watch. These guys, and Scott Wheeler is up front with Kendall Kerr as well. Kerr in 5th, and Scott Wheeler getting a bit of a point advantage if he finishes this way. He is in 3rd, 2 spots up on his championship rival, the number 21 machine. Dylan Petit, 31 machine, leading the way. James McKee in 2nd. Scott Wheeler, position number 3. Allen coming in 4th. Henniker in 5th. Chad Winstead is in 6th. Austin Bloom in 7th. Matthew Rodriguez in 8th. And Brad Kress is in 9th. Rounding out the top 10 it is Caleb Morrissey. And here we go. Choose rule once again. 15 laps left. Led by the mellow yellow number 31 machine of Dylan Petit. Let's see what he can do this time by. Leading McKee. Let's hope this time by we're going to run it to the end on green. Green flag is out once again from Wilkes County. Let's go once more. And running out the clock, these guys have it with 14 laps to go. It's crunch time. As Scott Wheeler going to go down to the inside line on James McKee. McKee going to make the blocking maneuver. And Dylan Petit going to be able to run away for just a bit. It's anyone's race nonetheless. Clint Spillman going to spin. We're going to have another yellow. And Spillman, you caught it on your screen. We're going to get an instant replay on the matter. And I would argue by now, this is about our 15th caution. Unfortunately, not able to have an official word on whether or not that is our 15th caution. We missed about 18 laps due to an internet outage in our area. Although I'd argue, given how little we missed and how much time we had to spend fixing the internet outage, or rather adapting to it, we are up to at least 15 cautions. Spillman coming off the turn. Metco definitely, that was not getting loose. And he gets that one all out of shape. A few guys gets tangled up in the back. Caleb Morrissey gets a little bit of contact from Jason Harris. But Spillman's back on his way, and James McKee leads until now. Now it's Dylan Petit leading with 11 laps left. We should come back with just about 8 laps to go. And from there, that should be the final run of green flag laps. We'll find out whether or not that is the case. Anything can happen. It's racing. The outcome is never finished until it's truly finished. And the iRacing pace car continues to lead them. How about that? iRacing, what an incredible service that we get to use night after night to provide you with every single one of these broadcasts, with every single one of these great leagues we are associated with. If you want to join the fun, be sure to use our iRacing referral code in the description. We have had multiple users use it to sign up for iRacing themselves, and it has been a great help to the channel, unbelievably so. The money goes straight back into getting the content we require to do these streams, and it is a great way to join the party. Here is our special promotional code for every single one of you, PR-Hot Laps. And that is going to be PR-HOTLAPS. The greatest way to get onto the iRacing service using that referral code. The funds go right back to making these streams that much better. And shout out to iRacing. Exactly, MBLXL, absolutely the way that we go about it. iRacing is the place to be for simulated motorsport online. Absolutely the biggest network. We got about 10,000 people racing every hour of every day, no matter when, no matter where. It's an international effort here, and they are pioneering the connection between real motorsport and simulated motorsport week after week, month after month, and year after year. 14 years strong, and looking forward to 14 more. And how about that for iRacing, as their official pace car tours the remainder of this field around. The number 31 machine of Dylan Petit, bringing a scheme that hasn't been ran here in the NASCAR Cup Series in its original form in now 3 decades. Kyle Petty ran that scheme in 92 and 93. And if I'm not mistaken, switched it out for 94. By that point, Sabatas did not have the sponsorship from LAL. They had it from Coors. And that's where he got his final career win in 1995 with Dover that beautiful blue and pink core scheme. But that mellow yellow, that's the identity of Kyle Petty. For a driver who have raced so long with Penny Enterprises, his years with Felix Sabat is absolutely the ones everyone remembers. And the 31 machine, still a beautiful paint scheme to this day, no matter what car it's on. 8 laps to go, led by Dylan Petit. Here we go again. Green once more. Let's get back to the action. And now, side by side for the lead for just a moment. Dylan Petit getting it back out in front. And double file between the teammates of Kendall Kerr and James McKee, as it's going to be side by side between the championship rivals. And Kendall Kerr going to get the worst of it by just a bit. Scott Wheeler just behind him, and they're double file once again. 6 laps remain. Side by side there, 4-4. Let's watch that. It looks to be a single file affair right now, but it looks like now Alan Kerman's going to go to the inside line. And this is why he's a short track ace coming out at the end, and that's where it matters. It's not about where you start, it's where you finish. And right now, Dylan Petit, no! Alan Cumming gonna go right around, and we're gonna have yet another yellow. Garrett Sidnor gonna nose it. Brandon Wedger gonna get contact, and that's gonna be yet another race-altering yellow flag. We will have our one and only overtime attempt to use now. The race has officially extended to the absolute maximum distance. And Scott Wheeler gets out of it, but James McKee, his teammate, and Alan Goodman, not be so lucky. Let's try to find out what happened there. Tries to get around with Dylan Petit, loses it, and majority of these guys get lucky. Kendall Kerr gets a little bit of damage. Garrett Sidnor absolutely loses it there, sends it right into the wall. And Alan Goodman from 2nd to 15th. And it's unfortunate, especially unfortunate for the driver of the 8 machine. And that leaves Dylan Petit with a much easier path to victory, so long as he's able to capitalize on it. It is now Petit and Rodriguez leading the way here in Wilkes County. And side by side, they are not yet. Find out whether or not they shorten the yellow. It does not appear like they are going to do just that. And this race will go over its official race distance. It will be a 202 lap event, and perhaps a 203 lap event. This race is not over, and it will go to the absolute last lap it possibly can go to. The next flag, no matter what, will end it. And I'm not sure now that it will be a white flag. We will find out. It's anyone's guess. Petit, Rodriguez, Scott Wheeler, and James McKee, with Kendall Kerr rounding out the top 5 for the final restart of the night. The choose rule not in effect just yet. One more lap until we get to that. And we have hit lap 200. And Dylan Petit will lead that 200th lap, but he will not be a race winner as a result. One more chance. One more opportunity for every one of these drivers to get the victory. But Dylan Petit has gotten onto it late, and he might just have what it takes to get it done. Queen City Racing as they look for what would be second win in the season. Let's find out whether or not they're able to hold on to it. And my apologies. It looks like Dylan Petit out of it this time by. He's not in Queen City Racing and mixing up with quite a few drivers. My apologies there. Statistics are not lining up. Queen City Racing actually is going to be led right now by the driver, Chad Winstead. Winstead falling back just a bit. The Queen City guys looking, of course, for the victory. And it looks to be falling in the hands, as a matter of fact. Not for 31 machine, who's in Swamp Motorsports. We are having an extended yellow. Not green that time by. We're going one to green this time by. Green flag, wave, next lap. This is absolutely the longest it can get. 204 laps and 200 lap event. The services and supply incorporated 200. 2 laps to decide it. Next, flag.
Wait, we're not
exit.
going green. Repeat, no green.
We're not going green again. And we have something going on, surely. We are not going to go green this lap by. Now it's lap 203. And Matthew Rodriguez appears to be going 3 wide for the lead there. There seems to be a confusion regarding who is up front. Go 3
We're
wide.
not going green. Repeat, no green.
And they're not going green again. And as they sort this out, we will wait. And Matthew Rodriguez is not letting go of the idea that he should be up front. I believe that's what's going on. They're debating whether or not he should be all the way up front. And this time by, it looks to be settled. Lap 204. 2 laps. To settle it for 1 winner. Yellow flag
We're
will
not going green. Repeat, no green.
once again be extended. And now it's lap 205. This race is not over. Choose rule reapplied. And that's going to swap a few guys around again. Dylan Petit goes high. James McKee goes low. Matthew Rodriguez goes high. And now we got 1 guy on the front row. What it looks like this time by. No more extension. 2 laps. To decide 1 winner. Lap 205. Let's get to 207 this time by. The race is back in its swing. James McKee and Dylan Petit going to lead him through. Green flag's out once again. Out for the lead. Last time by, Dylan Petit gets a commanding start, but it's far from over. We've got a big incident almost out. That's it. Race is over. Yellow flag is out. That's our one and only restart attempt. Everyone's wrecking. And Dylan Petit looks to have locked it up. Final lap under yellow. And it's all over under yellow flag conditions. And we do not want to see it ended like that. But that's the scenario presented under. Dylan Petit absolutely earned it nonetheless. He's going to win the Services Supply Incorporated 200. And how about that? He's back in victory lane. And a great show put on by Dylan Petit, but certainly a hard one for any driver to make some laps up. James McKee coming home in second with 112 lap old tires, incredibly impressive. And unfortunate, we were not able to see those 2 battle. And an abrupt call at the end of the race. And I have to admit, I think I made it a little more abrupt, saying that was it. But that was the way it was. The yellow's out. Race is over. And Dylan Petit is going to burn it down with some contact from Alan Kuhlman there. And Scott Wheeler comes beside him. And time for Dylan Petit to burn it down. Although it looks like he would not burn it down. He will, in fact, come into the Polish victory lap. Shades of Alan Kowicki, not Alan Kuhlman. Kuhlman just tapped him. And he's going to take a slow but justified Polish victory lap. As it rolls around, this will be the final lap here at North Wilkesboro. And it's going to be a backwards lap at just about caution's pace. As a matter of fact, it is about 36 miles an hour on the dot here. And And that is it here in Wilkes County. And Dylan Petit coming down to the start-finish line once again. And a great job by him. Absolutely. Needs to be stated. As much as that was a unfortunately underwhelming finish, Dylan Petit earned that. He straight up outdrove everyone there, was able to face the pressure with grace. And he's got the talent to keep it going. And this is a great one for Dylan Petit, putting it into motion. And he's going to burn it down, rightfully so. This might be the latest that we've ever finished a race here in the Highline Racing League this season. But nonetheless, deserved victory for Dylan Petit. Great job out there. We'll get our podium placements very, very soon. And try to wrap this one off on a high note. Backing it down. Continues to burn it down. And Dylan Petit gets it done in style. And this time by, it looks to be parked for good. How about that for the driver of the 31 machine? And it looks like at the end of the day, he's able to get it done over the rest of the field. Dylan Petit, win number 1 on the season. How are you feeling?
I don't even know what to say. It was very chaotic at the end, and I guess pits, everything kind of got all scrambled, and I found myself up there, and it was wild. I still don't know what to think. I didn't really picture this being my first win kind of like this, but I mean, I'll definitely take it. But I didn't think I was really running very good today at all, and I ran about probably like 8th all race, and I don't know, I just kind of found myself in the right place, right time, I guess, at the end, and just a lot of chaotic racing for sure.
Absolutely a lot of chaos there, but at the end of the day, you were able to avoid it in its entirety, especially at the tail end of it. How was it like going through that and making your way up front and keeping yourself up front at the tail end?
It was just a survival game, honestly, because it's just a lot of bumping and banging, a lot of wrecking and stuff, and somehow I didn't get involved in anything. I was surprised by that, and just I thought my race was over there when I was racing with Alan when we got together, because I was sideways and he was sideways. I'm not really sure what happened there, and I know we were just racing hard for the win at that point. And like I said, I just want to thank everybody for clean racing up front. It was fun. Like I said, I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't sure what to feel about this. I've been wanting to win this league for the longest time since I started racing iRacing, and I'm glad to finally get it. Just as an interesting way to get in. Really cool to get a win in this mellow yellow car. I want to give a shout out to Dylan Body for painting this Cold Trickle Days of Thunder kind of throwback today we did with a few other guys, and it's a pretty cool feeling, honestly.
Absolutely getting it done here, and what a performance it was. Actually not next week, but the next time we go racing, it will be New Hampshire, 125 laps. How are you feeling going into that one? Because it will be about a 2 weeks worth of a break before we get back to the Magic Mile.
Well, I'll just try to enjoy this and enjoy the off week with it as well, and some Thanksgiving, and it'll be different. I haven't really ran the Next-Gen car in the track at New Hampshire, so definitely be something different for sure, and definitely needed to test that place quite a bit as my engine just died, but totally worth it. But yeah, just I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving if we don't get to hear back till then, but it was fun.
Absolutely getting it done here in style. Dylan Petit avoids the chaos and gets it done for win number 1 on the season. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And how about that? How about we get on to our second place driver here? It was the 9 machine of James McKee. And it looks like we're going to try to find him right now. He is still in the voice chat. We're going to get to him right now as we speak. Slowly but surely going to move him back up. Runner up here tonight, James McKee. How are you feeling going after that one?
I'm pretty happy about coming back, but not happy that I got a win taken away. But it is what it is.
And absolutely quite a lot of chaos at the end there. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see a race go to the end. We had just about a half lap in that final restart before we went to the yellow flag condition, and certainly that is what changed the game entirely.
Yeah, that was the whole race. Just a bunch of pace laps because a lot of guys just didn't know how to race tonight. But definitely disappointed with the ending because we've had this rule for the choose cone, and some drivers didn't meet that, and we got one stolen from us. So, yeah, like I said, it is what it is. We'll go on the next week at New Hampshire and have some fun.
Absolutely. Next race will be New Hampshire, 125 laps at the Magic Mile. How you feel going to that one?
I'll let you know in about 7 days, but not one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully we can pull out some luck and see if we can't steal one.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts before we round this one off? Because we do have an off week next week, so it's going to be a little bit of time before we get back to that.
Oh, good. So I'll let you know in 14 days then. No, just thank you guys for the broadcasts you guys do every week. I enjoy watching them. And definitely got to thank my team. Got a pretty good team. Make each of us make each other better each week, and look forward to continuing that with them.
Absolutely. Runner-up here tonight, looking forward, of course, well, not necessarily saying he's looking forward, but looking to get another victory on the record for James McKee. A runner-up here tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we're going to drag him back into his voice chat as we speak. Now let's get on to our final driver on this podium procedure, and it was the number 3 machine actually rounding out the podium in position number 3. Austin Bloom, how are you feeling after this one?
That's a little bittersweet, not gonna lie. Not overly happy with how the last restart setup worked. It kind of took my teammate out of a chance of a win there, and he's fighting for a championship, so it's really important to him. And so, bittersweet 3rd place, but fought through a lot of adversity in the race, and just happy I was able to get some good points for my team.
And absolutely, adversity appeared to be the name of the game here. It was a lot of chaos and a lot of yellows, and avoiding it seemed to be the only key to getting up front.
Yeah, definitely not our best race as a league. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Yeah, don't know what else to say about it other than that.
Well, either way, we're going to have a break week for Thanksgiving. We're going to come back in 14 days' time, and we will be back in New Hampshire. 125 laps at the Magic Mile. How are you feeling going to that one?
Probably about the same as North Wilkesboro, to be honest. Doesn't seem like short tracks are our best forte as a league, so we'll have to see what happens.
Absolutely waiting to see what will happen. 3rd place on the night. Any final thoughts before we wrap this one off?
I just want to thank all my teammates at Four Horsemen Racing for having me like always. Glad I can deliver some solid points for them for the team championship. Still some solid points for Scott Wheeler, so definitely helps him in the championship. Thanks to Kendall for everything he does putting the league on. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and thanks everyone watching.
Absolutely. Once again, rounding out the podium position number 3, it is driver number 3, Austin Bloom. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. That will round out your podium procedure on the night. Let's get through our race results, because this was one chaotic race and one you're not going to forget for quite a long time. Got to thank every single one of you for watching. Let's get through our race results and see how everyone stacks up at the tail end of this one. Great right of racing here when we were able to get that green flag running. Unfortunately, quite a few yellows to go along with it. Dylan Petit going to win, following James McKee in. Unfortunately, we don't have our qualifying statistics due to the internet outage, with Austin Bloom in 3rd and Matthew Rodriguez in 4th. Scott Wheeler, Chad Winstead, Brad Kress, Kenny Brooks, and Ken Luker round out the top 10, with Alan Kuhlman in 10th position, and Caleb Morrissey, the last driver in the lead lap, in 11th position, 11 seconds off of your race leader. Then we have Jeff Morash, Adam Bozzi, Clint Spillman, Garrett Sidnor, Terry Brooks, Brendan Wenchard, and Jacob Halm, with Jason Harris and Scott Zellner in 20th. Followed by the remainder of the field, including Tyler Rush, Andrew Baker, Connor Holden, Dylan Body, Roberto Ramirez, and Ty Smith. Colton Gardner not being able to make it past the first 50 laps. That rounds out your 27-car field here tonight. We thank every single one of you for stopping by tonight. It means the world to us, and thank you all for sticking with us, as unfortunately we had an internet issue that had us a little bit conflicted as the race began, but nonetheless, we are back, and we are thankful for every single one of you stopping by, giving us the support that keeps us going, and we hope to see you back whenever we are back, and we should be back next week only on Wednesday. We'll be back in 14 days time, December 1st, to mark the date. New Hampshire, the Magic Mile. It's going to be a magical race to be back with these great drivers, and we will be back better than ever. Thank you all for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed the procedure here tonight, the race here tonight. Much more the procedure, and a great podium procedure getting the drivers' thoughts. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope you had a great one. Thank you all, and good night.